this will end. When I can, I do it all again. And she says, go inside, oh, go inside for her. And she says, give it out, I'll give everything to her.
Yeah. What we're doing this morning, on the computer this morning, and apparently I got a message from I thought it was a snarky apologist because of how snarky this man was, but he's not apologizing to me. He is, he's ready to get down and get brown. And his, first of all, this individual's name is DP Super Duper. Just right out of the gate, I want to get something out of the way. If you did call up an adult store and ask them if they have any DP videos, just so you know, DP means double penetration. If you don't believe me, call your local adult store. Let's just get that. I know let's just, clear the air right there. According to Wikipedia, there is over 41,000 Christian denominations. Will you be making videos to help warn people of those religions also? This is very similar to an angry letter I wrote to America's Most Wanted. Go after all criminals at once. That's just how I feel about it. Apparently, this is, instead of rebutting something that's in the video, this is probably one of the more common things you will hear from a Jehovah's Witness, is that they're just another tree in the forest, so why focus on them? So please stop. Just stop doing it. It's hard to argue with reasoning like that. If there's 41,000 Christian denominations, surely Jehovah's Witnesses are just as bad as the rest of them, so let them off the hook. Just let them go. And it's, when you put it like that, why not? Probably not, because only God's true organization will be under such great attack as Jehovah's Witnesses. It makes perfect sense that YouTube is filled with millions of videos like yours. Keep up the good work. It makes it easier for Jesus to separate sheep from the goats. Just want to stop there. Stop. I'm not even going to tack on anything at the end of that. I'm going to read this for you again. Keep up the good work. It makes it easier for Jesus to separate the sheep from the goats. I'm going to read this one last time. This is a Jehovah's Witness explaining Jesus, the perfect, immaculate Jesus sitting on his throne in heaven. This is the Jehovah's Witness take on this supposed Jesus. It makes it easier for Jesus to separate sheep from the goats when people make millions of videos. So we're doing, apparently according to Jehovah's Witnesses, you and everyone you know are doing good work by making millions of videos because Jesus is making a tally against you. Whoever makes the most videos, you go up on the death list. And you're proving your goatness by YouTube. YouTube has been a great tool of Jesus Christ. It's like a stockade. He's corralling all the cattle in there. And the bad ones, they go onto YouTube. Maybe Jesus even invented YouTube. I know Al Gore invented the internet. And now Jesus invented YouTube. That's what's going on YouTube. There's millions of people that say they got screwed over by Jehovah's Witnesses, but they didn't really. The only way people can come into the truth is if Jehovah calls them. But after a few years, they have sex, and then Jehovah casts them out. It's, they were the seeds that fell on the rough soil. They fell on rocky soil, and also had sex and got disfellowshipped. Then they were Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah called them to his holy mountain, and then 5 years later, they got caught having they had a sexual moment in a closet with one of their coworkers, and they weren't Jehovah's Witnesses anymore, because when an elder does it, he can be, if he keeps a secret for 5 years, he can sweep it under the rug. But when you get caught, then you go on YouTube and you make millions of videos. And that's what's happening. Essentially, that's what's happening. Millions of people, millions of very hot sex acts happened. That's what I take from it. A lot of sex happens in Jehovah's Witnesses. When you read that there's 94, excuse me, I'm guesstimating, by my calculations, there's 94,000 people that got disfellowshipped last year. And to me, that means, considering that 99% of them were disfellowshipped for sexual enjoyment, that means that 94,000 awkward sexual things happened. And and Jehovah's watching this. Jehovah's watching all of this like a pornographic movie. He's sick. No, he's like a police officer. He's up there watching porn, but he does it to does he, I know our eyes are supposed to pass over what is bad. Does Jehovah continue watching? Does he watch like the first 5 minutes of the sexual encounter, or does he go and read Awake magazine after he said, well, I've seen enough. I'll stop watching now. What's happening? Well, no, Jehovah has to watch the entire sexual encounter every time, because Jehovah has to know all things, and so does Jesus. Do their thrones sit next to each other? It's something you do wonder. Do Jehovah, are they sitting there with their buckets of popcorn? And if they were sitting together on a couch, that would be awkward, right? Are they sitting next to each other? Especially father and son. Isn't that kind of creepy that they're sitting there watching these really hardcore sexual encounters? 94,000 of them. And that's just the Jehovah's Witnesses. Not to mention, they know everything on earth. They know everyone's sitting on earth. So they're watching billions of people have sex? Millions? Billions? How many hundreds of millions of people have sex or masturbate each day, and Jehovah and Jesus sit there and watch it? Not because they enjoy it, just because it's something they have to make sure isn't happening. Oh, it is happening! Oh, it happened! Again, I'm so surprised. By the way, we designed these creatures to have sex. We gave them this incredible urge that they can barely fight, but they shouldn't be doing it nonetheless. They did it! Oh, it's a surprise ending. I didn't think they would. I thought they would stop. I thought they would stop when they became Jehovah's Witnesses. I thought their genitals wouldn't compel them to get in, touch other people's bodies. And when we invented YouTube and the internet, and there was porn and there was porn and sex all over it, I thought that would make it easier for Jehovah's Witnesses not to watch porn. Well, anyway, that's what's going on. This is by the way, this is a spam comment. This was left on a lot of videos, so you guys probably read it too. Down here we have Tony Prime's memorial video. Your daughter must be so proud of you. The whole world can witness what an idiot you are. Will you be making millions of videos about the other 41,000 religions? Katie, get a life. It seems you have nothing better to do. If you believed in God's word, the Bible, you would allow God to take care of this rather than making a name for yourself. You got to me a complete moron. Oh, he must mean got to be a complete moron. You've got to be a complete moron to be drinking wine and eating crackers while you are ranting about the JW org. Refreshing. Refreshing first thing in the morning. This just keeps it going. Haggai 2:7. and I will rock the nations with the desirable things of Jehovah. And his house will be filled with glory. Jehovah of armies has said. The revised 2013 edition of the New World Translation no longer uses mentally diseased. Why is it you did not know that? Can you give me an example in the Bible where God's people did something similar to what you are now doing? He wants an example of where people in the Bible got on YouTube and made videos. It's right next to the example of where people got on JW.org to get their answers, for Bible questions. I'm sorry, friends, I'm calming down again. I don't know what's going on. The thing is, this is a question I've asked 3 Jehovah's Witnesses so far. Why does the revised 2013 edition not include mentally diseased? And they said, well, it's a more accurate translation. And so I said, so apostates are not mentally diseased? Well, they kind of are. I honestly don't know what's going on. I think a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are uncomfortable with mentally diseased, but then there's these other ones. There's the meaner breed of JWs that they love mentally. Oh, fuck you. They love it. But I think, there about the 70% of Jehovah's Witnesses that are just I don't think it was, or maybe there was just too much bad press. Type your answers below. I don't know, but I have asked why if apostates are mentally diseased, how come it's not in the Bible anymore? Well, it's just getting more accurate all the time. That's the thing about the Bible. Its accuracy just keeps improving the further you get away from its original translation. It just keeps getting better and better, and is getting refined by Jehovah. Can you imagine how much the Bible sucked 2,000 years ago? It hadn't even been translated yet. I mean, it hadn't even been translated into mentally diseased and then untranslated. What were they doing back then? Those people. They shit in crock pots. Buried it. Jehovah told people to shit in a pot or a bag and then bury it in the wilderness. You had to walk out into the wilderness to bury your shit every time. Well, you people have to go eat breakfast now. I will just, on a closing thought, in summation, I just wanted to give you a final thought from an esteemed Jehovah's Witness. True Christians now know that Jesus is not God. They also know that before he was born as a human, he was in heaven as an angel, and he also helped God in the creation of all things. And is therefore called the Son of God. Jesus' DNA was not for Mary or for Joseph. Jesus could have lived before because he hadn't inherited sin, death, from Adam and from Jesus, the only perfect man. He could buy back what Adam and Eve had lost because of their sin. Jesus is therefore a ransom sacrifice. It takes a ransom that is used to get something of high value back. Jesus became that ransom, not God. As a test, God used DNA to bring back Abraham and to sacrifice him after his resurrection, his son Isaac. He didn't ask Abraham to kill himself, but rather to kill his son Isaac. Adam and Eve lost the gift of life forever, and because of their DNA, they were therefore not in the line for Jesus' sacrifice. Because they grew old, and Jesus and Adam and Eve lost the gift because their DNA was not similar to that of Adam and Eve and Jesus Christ. Forever, therefore, he grew old because of his disobedience and died, but because of the sin of Jesus Christ's death, being used as a heavenly ransom for the object that died as we pass at the memorial, mankind lived forever right here on earth, in paradise forever, as we learned about our materials. And Eve had never learned this because her DNA was imperfected due to her sin, in heaven, but only to live in here and forever on earth. This will happen in the near future. This makes sense. This makes sense.
Still dream of lips I never should have kissed. Well, she knows exactly what I can't resist. And if she says come inside, I'll come inside for her. And if she says give it all, I'll give everything this will end. But when I can, I do it all again.
Wait, on the computer this morning, and apparently I got a message from a very... I thought it was a snarky apologist because of how snarky this man was, but he's not apologizing. To me, he is... he's ready to get down and get brown. And his... first of all, this individual's name is DP Super Duper. Just right out of the gate, I want to get something out of the way. If you did call up an adult store and ask them if they have any DP videos, just so you know, DP means... What we're doing this morning, double penetration. If you don't believe me, call your local adult store. Let's just get that. I know let's just, clear the air right there. According to Wikipedia, there is over 41,000 Christian denominations. Will you be making videos?